Hey up, welcome back to Piggy Pens Tube. I'm Jo, and today I just wanted to talk to you about something I'm doing through October that may be of use to you as one of my subscribers, or even if you're just passing and have found me that way, maybe it's something you'd like to stick around for. So since I started uploading videos to YouTube about 2 weeks ago, I've had so much love and support and encouragement from the colouring community. I've been trying to think of ways that I can kind of give back and as a thank you, really. So you may know that I've only been colouring as an adult for about 3 or 4 months now, but I've always enjoyed art and painting, drawing, things like that as a younger woman, as a teenager and young woman. And then after sort of college age, after 18, I never really touched base with art again, apart from a few years ago, but I won't go into that now. So I'm not ever going to be offering you a colour along or tutorials that are very much this is how you should do it, because there's people far better at colouring, at art, than me on YouTube that you can go watch. So just as a little side note there, if you are interested in pencil colouring, I think there's a wonderful pencil colourist. Well, she's an artist, but in terms of colouring with pencils and drawing and creating art with pencils, Gemma Chambers art on YouTube, she's just fantastic, and she works with a lot of different pencils as well, but she's an absolute expert on the layering up of polychromos. So that's who I sort of got introduced to polychromos through. So Gemma Chambers art, as you will probably know about Karen at My Colourful Country Life, who is a favourite colourist of a lot of the community. So you can go watch her if you want to know how to colour like her in her style. She'll definitely be able to teach you about that. And there's so many more amazing colourists that will offer you YouTubes and colour alongs. I couldn't even begin to list them. I've touched on 2 people that I think are doing a great job online, but there's so many more that are also doing a great job online at giving us advice. If I begin to name them, I'll leave too many out. So I've mentioned those 2 as a help. What I can offer you is something different, and this is what I've been thinking about. So through October, I'm going to upload 6 videos. It's going to be a 6-part series, encouraging you to, if you like, follow along with me with a certain page and palette through October, which we'll get to. I don't think I can do live streams yet on my YouTube channel because I think my channel's too small, but what I'd like to do is offer you some videos that you can follow along with. But in case routine is a big thing for you and you like routine and routine helps you, I'm going to make sure that I upload my videos at set times and dates for you, if that helps. You can follow along with this video series from part 1, which will be uploaded on Wednesday, or you can come to it further down the line. So you can just be aware that these videos are out there. Come end of October, they're going to sit there on my channel, and you can refer to them at any time in the future. But the first video will be uploaded next Wednesday, and it'll be a 6-part video series, and every Wednesday there'll be a shorter video where we're going to prepare for what we're doing over the weekend. So there'll be videos on Wednesdays and then Fridays for 3 weeks. So in part 1, we're going to talk about backgrounds in that first part. It's probably a good point now to talk about the actual page and palette that we're going to do. So it will be this page, which is for me, it's in Grains of Gold, which is a new book that I've got. And as you may know from my previous videos, if you've seen them, I'm wanting to get at least a page done in all the books I own. So I'm keen to get a page done in Grains of Gold by Hannah Carlson. This is the page that I've chosen. Grains of Gold is a compilation, so you may know that this page can also be found in Seasons by Hannah Carlson. And I'll pop a palette on screen as well, which I think just as soon as I saw this palette, I were like, anything deep, sort of jewel tone colours I love. I'm a fan of pastels as well, but you know, this time of year I love dark colours, and I like my living room to be all dark and cosy, and you know, I'm a fan of a dark wall in my house and things like that. So yeah, I do love this palette, and I think it'll be great for this page. So basically the idea of this 6-part series is that come the end of October, before, in fact a week before the end of October, so in loads of time for Halloween, you and I will have a wonderful, gorgeous, completed Halloween themed page, which will be this one. I'll talk after we've spoke about the schedule of the videos. I'm going to talk about who I think it'll be really useful for, so please do stick around for that, because it may be more use to you than you think, but I'll get to that anyway. So this is the page, the palette is on screen, and I think they're going to go together wonderfully, but we're going to break it down into bite-sized pieces. So in part 1, all we're going to do, the only goal we're setting ourselves is to bring together and make decisions on what we're going to use in as background. So that'll be next Wednesday's video, and I'm going to be trying all these things out on this type of paper, with a view to completing the background on this page. But I'm only going to be practicing. My Wednesday sessions I'm calling practice and play sessions. So the first Wednesday session, part 1, will be practice and play with background media that we're going to use on this background here, and also in the background on the inner illustration. So I've got things like my Neo Colour 2s I'm going to play with. I'm going to see how I feel about some watercolours, and I'm going to pull colours in those medias to see how I like the look of the colours and which I think gives the best impact. I've got some distress inks that I've never used. I'm going to try them out. These Liquitex acrylic inks, which I've seen Jackie using at Spare Room Studio, I'm going to give them a go, practice on Wednesday. I've got some metallic watercolours. You might not have the same as me, and that is why I'm trying everything I've got. The idea is I'm encouraging you to bring all your stuff together for before you hit play on my video that I put up on Wednesday. Bring all your stuff together, get some paper and start practicing along with me. So that's the idea of part 1. That's the idea of every part, to be fair, that we're going through the same process together, but we might not necessarily have the same media, if that makes sense. So I'm going to test my ink tens to see if I like that. I've got some soft pastels, so I might fancy a more like smoky look to this page. I don't know, maybe mystical, maybe twinkly, maybe dark and mysterious. I don't know, I'm going to have a little play and see what I like. Neo Colour 2s. So that's part 1 on Wednesday. That's why I've got this stuff out. This is the kind of stuff, if you're going to follow the video along, whether it be Wednesday or at a later date, this is the stuff that you want to be bringing together before you hit play on that first video. So by the end of my Wednesday video, part 1, we will know exactly what we're going to use on the background of the weekend. So the pressure is off me. When it comes to the weekend, I can get my page out and I already know what I'm working with, what colours, and also what media. So over the weekend then, you'll be able to look at my Friday video, which will include me applying all that media to this page. So I hope this makes sense so far. So that'll be part 1 and part 2. We're going to have as background done by Friday. Then the week after, I'm going to get all my pencils together, and I'm going to decide what pencils I'm going to use for my main illustration, and I would be encouraging you to do the same. So that's what my shorter part 3, the Wednesday after, what that video will contain. I'll be using polychromos. I'll be testing my chroma flows, any other pencils I've got, maybe some media to base with if I want to base and not do it all in pencil. So again, that Wednesday I'll just be preparing again for what I'm going to be doing at the weekend. So then part 4, the Friday, that will be me starting to colour, and you, hopefully, if you're following along, starting to colour this illustration, and we can do that together. Obviously not live, it's a video, as I keep saying. I don't have Prismacolors as well, so if there's anybody out there that is really interested in following along with this series through October, you would be a great help to me, because if you follow the first video, for example, and you decide, or whichever video, and you decide, right, in terms of Prismacolor, which you've decided to use, this would be a really good selection of pencils for that palette. I'd love to know what they are so I can share it with the rest of anybody else who's watching. So I don't have Prismacolors, but I know that they're a firm favourite, and that's why there is already so many Prismacolor colour alongs out there. So I don't feel too bad about not having them in my supply, because there is a lot of people already doing Prismacolor colour alongs. Yeah, if you've got Prismacolor and you could help me out through October by letting me know what pencil colours you've matched to that palette, I can definitely share that with the rest of my audience, no matter how big or small it is. But yeah, that would be useful to get in touch if that's you. So that's the first 2 weeks. By the end of the first 2 weeks, we will have got most of our pencil colouring done. And then in the third week, so this would be part 5 the Wednesday, part 6 the Friday. Part 5 would be deciding on what we're going to use as our highlights. Maybe if we're going to add any glitter effects, any metallics, any white gel pens, any gel pens. So I'll be thinking about what I want to use to finish off the illustration in the final part 6. Then in part 6 we'll finish any pencil colouring, and we will be doing our final flourishes together. So our gel pen work, highlights, sparkly things, all that stuff that for me certainly that's my favourite part, when you get to do all the final flourishes and finishing touches. But I just want to touch on who I think it'll be good for. So this series of these 6 videos, which you can watch, sort of along with the schedule that I'll be uploading them if you want, or you can watch at a later date. These will be useful for anybody who wants to do a colour along on this page using that palette, because I'm going to be I've got quite a lot of media, and I'm sure I will have some the same as you, so it may be useful to you in that way. It'll be useful to anybody who just enjoys having colour alongs on in the background while they're colouring any page, and you might pick up some useful tips that we're gonna, I don't have any tips for you now. This is very much a joint experience, so I'm going to figure stuff out through doing this process that I will share with you, so you might pick up on things like that. If anybody's just interested in what process I use to approach a page, I've literally broken it down into 6 parts. But mainly, I think, who I'm aiming this at is anybody that is in a colouring slump. So I hear about colouring slumps all the time because I watch a lot of YouTube, and so many people every month are in a colouring slump, and it happens in every single hobby. At the moment it's not happened to me with colouring because the hobby is still fairly new to me, but it's certainly happened in other hobbies. And you have that feeling where you've spent loads of money on your new hobby, you've every spare waking moment you've dedicated to that new hobby because you're loving it for the last 6 months or however long, and then you just hit a wall where for whatever reason you'd rather chew your own leg off than apply yourself to that hobby that only last week you loved. And we just don't know why it happens. For me it's gardening. I've been into gardening massively, but this summer, I don't know whether it was the heat outside that were just too much for me, but I found it really difficult to apply myself to my gardening. I've done it, but some days I were out there, and I were mad that I were out there, and I were hating the process instead of enjoying it, and that's terrible. We don't want to be doing that. What I'm offering, I guess, as a solution is, if you are in a position at the moment where you feel like you've spent loads of money on colouring books, on markers, on pencils or whatever, and then in September you barely coloured anything, and you're honestly not feeling quite like colouring that much in October, you're watching this video and you're thinking, yeah, that's me. I feel terrible. I haven't coloured hardly any pages. I've hardly had my media out. I've got all them colouring books sat on the shelf, all that money sat on the shelf, and I'm just not using it. The more you make yourself feel bad about it, the more you put the pressure on yourself, the more you put that pressure on yourself. And this is the key thing I have found in my almost 50 years. The more you put that pressure on yourself, the more you don't want to do it. That's definitely the way my brain works. So if I'm admonishing myself for not doing something that I feel I should be, I'm not helping myself get any closer to doing it. So sometimes all it takes is for somebody to give you permission to not do it. It's a bit like when you've committed yourself to going on a night out socially with friends, and at the time you agreed to go, you're 100% sure you wanted to go, but now you're absolutely dreading it. You're dreading it. You're thinking, can I get away with cancelling? What excuses can I make? This is definitely me. And it's nothing to do with socialising with them. It's just you. You'd rather stay in your PJs with a cup of cocoa. So yeah, you're thinking of ways of getting out of it, and then they cancel. There is no greater feeling in the world, is there? Because sometimes you just need permission to not do the thing that you don't want to do. So basically, if you're in a colouring slump right now and you feel like you're on the brink of giving it up and never returning to it, all I want you to do in October is commit to colouring this page or one like it, and follow along with my 6-part videos. So for the next three weeks, and you don't have to do it on the days that they're uploading. The videos will be there waiting for you when you're ready to follow along. But I'm giving you permission to only colour one page in October. Something like this, or this page. You can use the palette. I've chosen a palette for you, so you don't have to make any decisions, or you can choose your own palette. So yeah, all I'm asking you to do, and I'm speaking specifically to the person that is in the colouring slump and is on the edge of giving up and jacking the hobby in, just hang on. All I'm asking you to do is one page in October. So this is the page we're going to do. I'm going to break it down for you into 6 bite-sized pieces, if you like, so you only have to dedicate up to like an hour twice a week for the next 3 weeks on completing this page. So we're going to prepare on the Wednesday for what we're going to do over the weekend. So your preparation's part 1, then you can forget about it. And then when you come to actually applying the media to the page, everything's already ready and waiting for you, making that next step a lot easier. So that's the idea. If you haven't scrolled past or whatever it is on YouTube, skip to the next video, and you're still with me, thank you. I just hope it makes some sense. I think it's going to be ideal for anybody in a colouring slump, and that's who I'm going to be keeping most in mind. I want to inspire you on the Wednesdays to fall in love with your media again. We're going to make decisions together. Although I can't speak to you live, the idea of me uploading on this schedule, this Wednesday, Friday schedule for 3 weeks, is so that once I've uploaded, if you do want to follow on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, we've got a couple of days that we can talk in between. So we can chat about, you know, what pencils have you decided to use? What have you decided to use? What colours have you picked in that pencil brand to match the palette? Are you doing a different page? Do you want advice on it? So that's the idea. I'm uploading on a schedule so we can talk in between, and you've got support there if you need it. So it's very much, I'm keeping in mind those people that are struggling a little bit to apply themselves to the hobby that they know they love deep down, but they just don't know why they're in a slump at the moment. So that's who I'm thinking about most. And I think the interaction in between will be a lovely thing for me as well. So yes, it's this page. I'm already excited. You can see I'm thinking about what I'll be using on Wednesday to play with. I've got a big sketchbook. I'll just show you it actually. It's huge. Somebody gifted me this. And it's massive, and I don't really use it, apart from I tried out some, oh, can you see that in there? I don't want to knock my lamp, but there's some oil pastel play that I've done in it. So I'm just going to use that, as the paper is not dissimilar in thickness to this Hannah Carlson paper, so I'm going to use that to practice in on Wednesday. But I've also got Vibrant Wilds by Sarah and A. Clark. I love the paper in it, and I think I'm going to use it as my practice and play colouring book. So I'll probably do a little bit in my sketchbook. I might practice a little bit in Vibrant Wilds as well. If you've got a colouring book that's not, for whatever reason, calling to you, but it's got some decent paper, why not turn it into a practice book? It's of more use to you as a practice and play book than being sat on the shelf empty. And that's the way I'm looking at Vibrant Wilds. There's some nice illustrations in there, but it just doesn't speak to me in the same way that my other books do. So the paper is excellent, so I'm going to use it as a practice and play book. And I suggest if you've got a book like that, use it for practicing. I'm repeating myself now, so I'm going to go. This was a video just to tell you about this 6-part series that I'm doing in October as a way of giving back to my subscribers and anybody who was kind enough to watch me. I think I'm on my way to 500 subscribers, and it's only been a couple of weeks, not even a couple of weeks I don't think, since I uploaded that first get to know me video. I just want to say thanks ever so much to everybody who has sent me lovely messages and has forgiven me for my broad Yorkshire accent. And to those YouTubers that I'm already a massive fan of that have been in touch to say, you're doing grand, keep it up. It just makes me so giddy when I get approval like that. And yeah, when people are liking what I'm doing, when I'm being 100% myself, what a revelation. Eh? Getting emotional. Oh dear, aren't we silly? This is perimenopause. Oh dear. Totally perimenopausal. Oh my God. Hysterical breakdown. I'm easily touched, what can I say? So yeah. Thanks ever so much, and I hope you get some use out of this. I've composed myself now. I hope you get some use out of it and enjoy it. But yeah, please, if you're that person who's in that slump now, just hang on and maybe give part 1 a go on Wednesday. Look out for it on my channel anyway. Ta-ra for now. If ridiculous perimenopausal outbursts are your thing, you might want to hit like on this video and consider subscribing if you don't already. Thanks a lot. Bye.